Media and royal commentators frame this as a major reputational crisis for the monarchy.
Behind the majestic facade of the British royal family, a ruthless power struggle is quietly unfolding right behind King Charles III's back. Exploiting the highest royal privileges, Queen Camilla's office has launched a large-scale campaign of manipulation, from disrupting schedules and blocking correspondence to sabotaging the future succession of Prince William's family. Those covert schemes quickly ignited a series of explosive conflicts, pushing the humiliation of the legitimate royal members to its breaking point. Faced directly with the threat of collapsing order, a family rebellion immediately erupted, cornering the king in a life-or-death position, where he was forced to choose between personal affection and the survival of the dynasty. Will the ultimatum contract issued by the righteous faction be powerful enough to tear away the villain's mask, or will the palace storm sweep everyone toward an irreversible ending? According to reports from British media observers, on a bitterly cold Tuesday morning, toward the end of 2025, an extraordinarily rare event unfolded inside the royal residence at Sandringham. Internal sources stated that King Charles III suddenly activated with his own hand a special hardware switch dating back to the Cold War era, located inside his private dressing room area. This abrupt technical action immediately severed Sandringham's entire internal computer network from the operations center at Buckingham Palace. Based on analyses from royal watchers, the primary purpose of this network disconnection was to completely prevent any surveillance monitoring or data access by close staff members as well as other members of the family. During the period in which the system was entirely offline, the monarch was reportedly making additional revisions, also known as a codicil, to his personal will, while at the same time carrying out a redistribution of his entire privately held non-state estate. Immediately after the drafting and completion of the document had concluded, according to several media sources, the king's personal physician, Dr. Michael Dixon, personally carried a secure leather bag. Inside the bag were reportedly important assets, together with the newly sealed legal document. Dr. Michael Dixon then stepped out into the grounds of the residence and handed the leather bag directly to a motorcyclist who had already been waiting there. The vehicle immediately departed, transporting the documents straight to a reputable law office in Norwich, without passing through any of the royal family's usual administrative transport registration processes or procedures. The incident unfolded so unexpectedly that the entire body of staff advisors and security officials responsible for the Sandringham residence were left with the sense that an enormous mystery remained unresolved. Multiple sources revealed that members of the internal staff had begun to grow curious and attempted to carry out preliminary investigative steps to determine what had actually just happened. However, every effort to gather information or restore operational data reached a complete dead end. The fundamental reason was that the entire computer network at the Sandringham residence had been unilaterally and completely cut off from communication with Buckingham Palace by King Charles III. Internal investigators were unable to carry out any retrieval commands or transmit any data through the electronic network, turning everything that had taken place inside the monarch's office into an absolute unknown for both the media and his closest advisors. Could the sudden shutdown of the entire computer network cause Prince William to realize that something was wrong? And how would he react upon discovering that he had been prevented from reaching King Charles III at Sandringham? According to media reports and internal royal sources, the moment the central data management system detected that the entire network at the Sandringham residence had suddenly lost all connectivity, Prince William immediately took the initiative to contact King Charles III. Using his personal telephone line directly, Prince William repeatedly called his father in an attempt to verify the situation. However, every effort to establish a connection through the mobile network failed, as the device continuously returned an out-of-coverage signal. Refusing to stop there, the prince then attempted to make contact through the residence's main switchboard system. There, he received an official response from the operating representative, stating that the monarch was currently resting and had issued a strict decree absolutely forbidding anyone from disturbing or interrupting him in any form whatsoever, including close members of the royal family. Faced with this highly unusual and exceptionally sudden development, Prince William decided to act immediately. According to information that was disclosed, he urgently boarded his private helicopter and flew directly to the Sandringham residence in order to personally determine the cause. Even so, the moment he arrived at the estate, something deeply astonishing happened to the heir to the throne. When Prince William approached the security checkpoint to proceed to the upstairs residential area and meet his father, the biometric authentication system repeatedly rejected his access request. After a technical inspection, he was stunned to discover that all of his fingerprint biometric data had been deliberately and completely erased from the residence's internal security lock system. This sudden alteration to the security database immediately created a barrier that stopped Prince William in his tracks, leaving him entirely unable to move upstairs to approach or meet King Charles III. Blocked by the digital security barrier, Prince William immediately demanded a full review and examination of all royal regulations and legal documents in order to determine the basis for these actions. Only after conducting a deep search through the internal regulatory texts did Prince William make the shocking discovery that his father was directly activating and applying a special emergency provision. This was a legal clause that had been formally enacted by the late Queen Elizabeth II in 2021. The special regulation clearly stipulated that the reigning monarch possessed full unilateral authority to redistribute his private estate whenever he determined that a family crisis was taking place, without being required to undergo any approval or consultation process from either the British Parliament or the heir apparent. While the mystery surrounding the deletion of the biometric data and the activation of the 2021 emergency provision remained unresolved and unanswered, Prince William was once again left stunned after discovering another extraordinarily unexpected movement taking place directly within the grounds of the residence. According to observations from on-site sources, King Charles III's private secretary, Sir Clive Alderton, was seen personally carrying a secure diplomatic suitcase. Sir Clive Alderton quickly departed the Sandringham residence and headed straight toward the nearby military airfield. According to internal analyses and news reports, the core purpose of this highly confidential journey was to carry out the transfer of the entire private estate together with important legal records into special offshore trusts expected to be established on the Isle of Man or in Switzerland. This transfer of assets outside the country was designed with extraordinary precision, with the objective of placing the entire body of personal assets and related documentation completely beyond the jurisdiction and legal intervention of the British Supreme Court. What direct legal consequences could Sir Clive Alderton's secret journey with the diplomatic suitcase bring for Prince Harry in the United States once the revised will is officially delivered to Montecito? According to international media reports and recorded internal sources, at the very same time that events were rapidly unfolding in Britain, across the Atlantic in the United States, Prince Harry officially received an important legal document. It was the amended will, also known as the codicil, which had previously been formally notarized by the competent authority in Norwich. The extraordinarily strict and severe legal provisions recorded in this document were assessed by observers as having delivered an extremely heavy blow directly against Prince Harry's family in California. Specifically, this amended document introduced an exceptionally strict regulation concerning trust conditions for members of the royal family. The text established a mandatory provision stating that any beneficiary who chose to reside or fulfill tax obligations outside the territory of the United Kingdom for more than 5 consecutive years would immediately be stripped entirely of both access to and ownership rights over all personal trust funds. Legal analysts pointed out that this 5-year threshold matched with absolute precision the timeline of Prince Harry's formal departure from royal duties in 2020. This new regulation meant that the entire amount of personal trust money allocated to him would be completely reclaimed by the legal system and automatically flow back into the account of the Duchy of Lancaster. And it did not stop there. The legal document sent to Montecito also came with an extremely strict confidentiality clause, also referred to as a gag order. Under the terms of this provision, if Prince Harry carried out any act of complaint dispute or filed any lawsuit challenging the contents of the amended will, his entire personal financial records, together with his internal business activities, since the moment he stepped away from royal duties, would immediately be made fully public before both the general public and the media. This created the highest level of legal pressure, forcing the recipient to weigh every possible act of opposition with extreme caution. Alongside the financial and confidentiality elements, the fate of family assets carrying symbolic significance was also decided in an absolute manner within this document, particularly in relation to the tiara and personal correspondence. The diamond and ruby tiara, associated with the legacy of Princess Diana, which under previous intentions and arrangements had been intended as an asset to be left to Prince Harry's children, had now been officially reclassified under the category of a diplomatic gift. With this change in classification, the tiara was immediately reclaimed and placed into safekeeping at the Tower of London, officially and permanently, preventing any possibility of Prince Harry and his children inheriting or taking the item outside the territory of the United Kingdom. At the same time, all copyright ownership over the handwritten letters Prince Harry had written during his teenage years while studying at Eton College was also transferred directly to Prince William. This transfer of copyright officially granted Prince William absolute legal authority to actively block and prohibit Prince Harry from quoting, using, or publishing the contents of those letters in any memoir book publication or documentary project in the future. Upon receiving and reading the full contents of the amended will, Prince Harry fell into a state of complete heartbreak and shock as he realized that both he and his small family in the United States had been thoroughly removed from the royal system of assets and inheritance. Deeply aware that he was entirely unable to launch any formal counterclaim or complaint through official legal channels because of the excessively restrictive confidentiality conditions, Prince Harry had no choice but to seek a way to send a private letter back to King Charles III. In the letter addressed to his father, he earnestly asked whether there was still any alternative or gentler way of handling the matter. Prince Harry's sole and fundamental objective at this point was to seek an opportunity for reconciliation, to back down, and to bring an immediate halt to the rapidly escalating tensions between the two sides. Could Prince Harry's letter of reconciliation from Montecito succeed in moving King Charles III, or would it merely push the monarch to quickly complete the transfer of all royal administrative power to Prince William? According to reports from royal observers and reliable internal sources, after the important legal procedures at Sandringham had been completed, King Charles III officially reopened the secure communication channels and directly held an important discussion with Prince William. The private conversation between the monarch and his son unfolded in an atmosphere of extraordinary solemnity and marked a decisive turning point. There, King Charles III formally expressed his wish and desire for Prince William to gradually begin acting on his behalf in managing all internal affairs within the palace, while also beginning to entrust the highest royal powers to the heir to the throne. During this direct discussion, King Charles III carefully reviewed each core area that he had decided to hand over to his eldest son. The monarch calmly stated, "I want you from this moment onward to begin directly assuming and managing the most important responsibilities of the throne. The first responsibility is that you must personally manage and approve all expenditures, as well as balance the operating budgets of Buckingham Palace and every royal residence across the country. The control of internal cash flow and budgets requires absolute strictness from you." Prince William listened carefully and calmly replied to his father, "Father, I fully understand the importance of managing the operating budget of Buckingham Palace, as well as the royal residences. I will personally review and approve every expenditure to ensure transparency and stability for the royal family." King Charles III nodded in satisfaction before continuing to convey the next group of powers. "In addition to the matter of budgets, you will officially represent me, in my capacity as monarch, by presiding over ceremonies for the presentation of honors, personally receiving diplomatic delegations from around the world, as well as representing the royal family at events attended by heads of state. Your presence itself will serve as the image representing the continuity of the throne." Prince William straightened his posture and formally accepted the instruction, I will obey, Father, representing you and presiding over honor ceremonies, receiving diplomatic delegations, and appearing before heads of state will be carried out by me with the highest level of propriety and dignity. Emphasizing the organizational leadership role, King Charles III continued by clearly explaining the third responsibility being transferred. I also entrust you with full authority over the management of the royal patronage organizations, the royal patronages, while you will personally take charge of operating the Prince's Council. This will serve as the foundation for you to build strong connections with social organizations and shape the advisory structure for the future. Prince William responded decisively. I accept the full weight of these responsibilities. The management of the royal patronage organizations, as well as personally leading the Prince's Council, will be implemented by me immediately in order to maintain the effective operation of the system. Most notably, amid the subdued atmosphere of the discussion, King Charles III delivered the most important decision concerning personnel and family matters. The monarch looked directly at Prince William and declared in a firm, steely tone, "And most importantly, I have decided that every issue arising in connection with Harry and Meghan from this point forward will be placed entirely in your hands to handle. I will no longer intervene directly or make decisions concerning them. From this moment onward, the complete authority to decide, determine, and resolve every matter relating to Harry and Meghan belongs entirely to you." Prince William firmly accepted this exceptional authority. "I understand your wishes, Father. Every matter involving Harry and Meghan from now onward will be personally managed and handled by me in accordance with the principles and strict discipline of the royal family." During the same discussion, King Charles III also formally affirmed to Prince William the absolute legal validity of the amended will that had just been executed. The monarch stated that the signing and witnessing of the codicil had been completed under exceptionally strict procedures, fully complying with the required process under the direct supervision of 3 independent witnesses in accordance with existing law. These 3 witnesses included a judge representing the Supreme Court, the Chancellor, representing the Diocese of Norwich, and a leading expert on British constitutional history. King Charles III emphasized that with the presence and certification of these 3 independent witnesses, the amended will had officially acquired permanent legal force within only minutes of the signature being placed on the document. This move fully completed the restructuring of the entire financial foundation of the House of Windsor, creating a firm legal corridor that could never be reversed or challenged by any court in the future. How will Prince William begin exercising the newly transferred powers when Prince Harry continues actively reaching out in search of reconciliation? According to media reports and internal palace sources, immediately after receiving the highest level of authority entrusted to him by King Charles III, Prince William began carrying out his duties with an extraordinarily serious attitude. Obeying his father's instructions, Prince William started preparing in full all necessary documents, legal procedures, and administrative materials required for the transfer of power and governing authority from King Charles III. Every stage of the transfer documentation process was carried out carefully, rigorously, and in absolute accordance with royal principles. Across the Atlantic, having recognized the clear shift in the balance of power within the administrative structure at Buckingham Palace, as well as the absolute authority that had just been granted to his elder brother, Prince Harry, once again took the initiative to seek direct contact with Prince William. Fully aware of his current position, Prince Harry wished to hold a conversation in the hope of seeking reconciliation and easing the tensions that were continuing to escalate. When direct communication between the 2 brothers was established, Prince Harry spoke first in a deeply emotional tone, still hoping that some peaceful solution could be found. "William, I know that you have now taken over full authority over palace affairs and hold the power to resolve every matter involving my wife and me. I am contacting you today solely because I want us to find a path toward reconciliation. Things have already gone too far, from the amended will, the freezing of the trust funds, to the severe legal restrictions. I genuinely hope that in your new position, you can reconsider everything, with a more open mind, bring this punishment to an end, and give us an opportunity to reach a peaceful agreement and finally put an end to all the prolonged tensions between both sides." Yet in response to his younger brother's appeal for reconciliation, Prince William maintained an extraordinarily cold, decisive, and blunt attitude, declaring outright that such a thing was completely impossible. Prince William spoke in a hard tone without the slightest sign of wavering. "Harry, I have to tell you plainly that reconciliation or any form of negotiation at this point is completely impossible. Every legal decision involving the codicil, the trust assets, as well as the confidentiality provisions, has been formally signed by Father, witnessed by independent witnesses, and has already taken permanent legal effect. The authority I received from Father is intended to preserve order, discipline, and the strict standards of the royal family, not to create exceptions or concessions. You chose the path of leaving and placed yourself outside the standards of the family, so you are required to accept all the legal consequences that come with that decision. There will be no negotiation and no reconciliation here." After receiving this harsh response and uncompromising attitude from his elder brother, Prince Harry fell into a state of complete deadlock and helplessness, which quickly transformed into extreme anger. No longer able to maintain his initial composure, Prince Harry immediately issued a direct threat of launching a media attack against the royal family. "If you are determined to slam every door shut and refuse to give me any opportunity for reconciliation, then remember this: I have nothing left to lose. I am warning you now, I am prepared to release the next spare. This new book will expose even deeper hidden corners, revealing all the dark truths and the ugly wrongdoings of the royal family from the past that I have never made public before. I will show the entire world just how unfairly and ruthlessly this institution has treated me." Faced with the blunt threat of publishing a new book designed to expose the family's internal affairs, Prince William showed no sign of hesitation or fear. On the contrary, the heir to the throne immediately delivered an equally forceful counter-threat, one carrying an immense display of power. "Harry, listen very carefully to what I am telling you today. If you dare cross that red line, if you dare do this and release any further book to smear or expose the royal family, once again, I am warning you in the strongest possible terms. I will immediately use the full extent of my authority to strip away every single remaining royal title held by you and Meghan in the near future. You should remember that authority over every matter concerning you now lies entirely in my hands. Do not test my patience or underestimate the consequences of having every honorary title completely stripped away. This is your final warning." Prince William's uncompromising and forceful threat officially brought the conversation to an end, creating an impenetrable wall of steel that blocked every attempt at negotiation or intimidation coming from Montecito. How will Prince William's threat to strip away every remaining title affect Harry and Meghan's personal lives, their marital tensions, and their careers, which are already on a downward trajectory in the United States? According to international media reports and sources from royal observers, Prince William's forceful threat and uncompromising attitude immediately pushed Prince Harry into a state of boundless anguish and an extremely severe psychological crisis. The legal wall of steel erected from Buckingham Palace, combined with the warning that every remaining royal title could be stripped away, caused the prince to lose all hope of reconciliation or any form of concession from his family. At the luxurious mansion in Montecito, California, the warm atmosphere that once existed was quickly replaced by gloom and extreme tension. Direct conflict between Prince Harry and Meghan Markle erupted violently, with relentless arguments continuing day after day. The core cause stemmed from the crushing financial pressure that followed the official cutoff of income from the trust funds in Britain, compounded by the feeling of being completely isolated from the royal establishment. Disagreements over which direction to take next, along with panic over the possibility of losing their royal titles, the core foundation that helped them maintain their status in the United States, made the disputes between husband and wife extraordinarily intense, pushing their personal relationship into the deepest period of fracture it had ever experienced. At the same time, on the professional front, both of their media and business careers in the United States also entered an uncontrolled downward spiral. Market analysts recorded that a series of major media contracts they had previously signed for enormous sums were successively frozen or completely canceled by their partners because performance failed to meet expectations. Traffic figures, audience numbers, and the level of public interest in the content products, documentaries, or broadcast programs they produced all registered record declines. In parallel with this, the couple's public image suffered an extraordinarily heavy blow following the string of disputes and failed threats. Both American and international media began to show greater indifference and become more critical, causing the new business projects they attempted to build to repeatedly end in disastrous failure, unable to attract additional investment capital or support from major brands. The official loss of the solid financial support provided by their personal trust funds in Britain, combined with the harsh reality of having to directly face the risk that Prince William could strip away every remaining royal title if he made one wrong move, pushed Prince Harry into a position where every path forward and backward was blocked. He could no longer continue with book publishing projects or documentaries intended to expose the royal family because of copyright restrictions involving the letters and the risk of having his personal finances made public. Yet he also no longer had any path left to negotiate or ask for assistance. Inside the Silent Mansion in California, Prince Harry fell into a state of complete helplessness. All he could do was stand there in pain as he realized that the door of opportunity for reconciliation, reconnection, and a return to the British royal family had officially and permanently closed behind him. How do you feel about the hardline decisions made by King Charles III and Prince William toward Prince Harry in this story? In your opinion, what meaning or lesson does the story above offer about the boundary between family affection and the responsibility of preserving the discipline of a dynasty? Before you go, we'd just like to say thank you. Every story you watch here is the result of hours of research and careful storytelling. If you enjoyed today's video, we'd truly appreciate your like and subscription. We know it takes a few extra seconds on a TV remote, but your support helps us keep creating even more thoughtful, high-quality stories.